"You're not authorized to lead anything here, mister. This is private property," she screamed, standing ankle-deep in murky floodwater, her hair a frizzy mess under a drooping sun hat. Margaret Hensley clutched her clipboard like it was a scepter, oblivious to the chaos around her. Behind me, a van full of shivering elderly folks waited, water creeping up the tires. To my right, the only road out of Willow Creek was blocked with concrete planters, a taco truck, and a soggy table littered with HOA flyers. I pressed my radio. "County Dispatch, this is Evac Leader 9. Hostile blockade on the primary escape route. Requesting immediate clearance." Margaret gasped like I'd just declared war. "Hostile? I'm the president of this HOA." I glanced at the trembling woman in my passenger seat, gripping her oxygen tank, and said, "And I'm the guy trying to keep people alive." That's when the battle between common sense and HOA madness began. 3 days earlier, life in Willow Creek, a quiet suburb outside Raleigh, North Carolina, was calm. I was tinkering with my backup generator, sipping black coffee, when the first flood warning crackled over the radio. A decade in military logistics and disaster coordination had honed my instincts. This storm was a beast. The local news called it a serious weather event. I called it a disaster waiting to explode. But try explaining that to a neighborhood ruled by Margaret, a self-appointed guardian of cul-de-sac perfection. Her obsession? Enforcing rules about mailbox colors and lawn ornaments. Her reign of petty tyranny was infamous, but it reached new heights of lunacy when the storm hit. "It's just rain," she'd scoffed at a community meeting 2 weeks prior when I raised concerns about evacuation routes. "We've seen worse." She had no clue what worse meant. The first drops fell that afternoon, gentle at first, as I stacked sandbags with my dog, Scout, trailing me in a yellow raincoat he despised. My property sat on higher ground, just past where the county road turned private. That private road was our only elevated path out of the Valia lifeline most assumed the city would manage. They were wrong. When I drove up to check the road, I saw Margaret's handiwork, 2 massive planters blocking the lane, a taco truck run by her son, Tyler, parked beside them, and lawn chairs scattered like a tailgate party. Tyler, in a tank top and sunglasses despite the gloom, grinned. "Exclusive tacos tonight, HOA members only." "You're blocking the evacuation route," I said. "Nah, we're securing it," he replied. "Mom says only trusted residents get through, gotta keep out looters." Before I could argue, Margaret stormed up, umbrella in one hand, clipboard in the other. "Daniel, you're not in charge here," she snapped. "This is a controlled environment, and your doomsday nonsense is upsetting people." "Margaret, a Category 4 storm is coming, and the creek's already overflowing," I said. "Move this now." She laughed a sharp, dismissive cackle. "You love playing hero. This isn't a battlefield, it's a community. I've decided we'll shelter in place." "From what?" I asked. "Floodwater doesn't check HOA badges. You can't talk to me like that. I am elected." "You ran unopposed," I shot back, then left to radio the county. They were swamped. 2 main roads had collapsed, and our little private path was the last viable route. They begged for my help. I'd coordinated rescues in worse conditions. I didn't hesitate. The real enemy wasn't the storm, it was Margaret's ignorance. Overnight, I turned my garage into a command post, stocking supplies and linking up with a county convoy via my ham radio. Neighbors trickled in, some wading through ankle-deep water, others without power. I handed out blankets and water, loading families into trucks. Their question was universal. Why won't Margaret let us leave? I had no answer. By dawn, with 4 hours until the creek swallowed the road, her taco truck and planters still stood. She'd added signs. Area closed to non-HOA traffic. I marched back with Scout, my maps, and real-time radar. A crowd gathered, families with kids, elderly in wheelchairs, all pleading. One man sobbed. His wife's oxygen was running low. Margaret, perched on a folding chair, shouted about protocols and unauthorized actions. I filmed it all. She shrieked, "You're violating HOA privacy. You're endangering lives," I said, radioing dispatch. "Blockade confirmed, requesting backup." Margaret lunged for my radio, missed, and face-planted in the mud with a wail that echoed like justice. Tyler slipped trying to help, his tank top now a soggy mess of taco sauce. The crowd clapped, a slow ripple growing louder than the storm. But the water wasn't waiting, it surged, eating the road's edges. From my hill, I saw two worlds. One where neighbors loaded trucks and rafts. Another where Margaret guarded her table like a warlord. She'd upgraded her blockade overnight with blinking garden lights and a no trespassing sign. Tyler handed out soggy taco coupons, oblivious to the water at his knees. I returned with my convoy to trucks, an ATV, and supplies. Margaret, in an oversized raincoat, wielded a bullhorn. Daniel, you're causing panic. This is a peaceful community. There's 6 inches of water in your driveway, I said. It's a puddle, she snapped. I filed a complaint about your impersonation of a first responder. I ignored her, launching my drone to capture the blocked road and stranded neighbors. She swatted at it with her clipboard. The footage went to the county, and within 20 minutes, they radioed back. You're authorized to clear the route under code red priority. Sheriff's en route. My cousin, Steve, who'd driven 2 hours in a lifted Jeep, grinned. Time to move some planters? We rolled up. Margaret stepped into the road, bullhorn blaring. You're not authorized. Steve leaned out. Lady, we're getting a grandma to dialysis, not hosting a cookout. She ranted about bylaws as the water rose. Tyler's taco truck generator died, and his partygoers drifted to our trucks. A woman in wet slippers snapped. What good are HOA privileges if we drown? The crowd shifted, climbing over planters into our vehicles. Margaret dragged a table to block us. Steve lifted it aside like it was nothing. That's HOA property, she screamed. This is an evacuation, I said. Take it up with the sheriff. Sirens wailed. A sheriff's cruiser and tow truck splashed through. Margaret waved her arms. Arrest him. He's impersonating an official. The deputy, soaked but calm, asked, Are you the one who blocked an emergency route? I'm protecting my community. She cried. Right, he said, signaling the tow truck to clear the planters. We loaded families' pets, kids, and all. Scout barked proudly from the truck bed. Margaret's bullhorn died. She scribbled fake fines, which people tossed into the wind. By dusk, we'd evacuated dozens. Margaret stood defeated, her signs underwater, her clipboard gone. The storm didn't relent, but Margaret's lies grew bolder. She called shelters, claiming I was a rogue militia leader. Tyler posted a doctored video, framing me as a thief. Neighbors sent me screenshots of her HOA group chat rants, accusing me of staging the evacuation for power. I sent calm replies with county documents and my code red clearance. The news ran my drone footage, titled When HOAs Go Too Far. Margaret's mid-scream face aired on repeat, with scouts stealing the show as Captain Rescue. Her blockade had delayed a nursing home evacuation, risking lives. The county opened an investigation. Margaret vanished briefly, then resurfaced with certified letters fining me $15,000 for defamation and unauthorized equipment. Neighbors got similar threats, but her spell was broken. We shared her letters in a group chat, laughing at her desperation. The county and state investigated her for obstruction and forged documents. A legitimate vote ousted her as HOA president 92% in favor and dissolved the HOA. Margaret holed up in her house, curtains drawn, her car untouched. A surveyor later dropped a bombshell. My property was never under HOA control. I'd been free from Margaret's rules all along, and my land's deed allowed public access during emergencies. She'd harassed me over a road she couldn't legally block. The neighborhood transformed. The HOA's clubhouse became a community shelter, dubbed the Turnaround. Neighbors rebuilt together, shared meals, and turned Karen's old garden into a soccer field. Tyler's taco truck rusted in place. He was last seen cleaning graffiti, a rare act of humility. One morning, officials served Margaret charges, obstruction, tampering, and falsifying records. Her reputation was ashes. At a community dinner in the new shelter, applause greeted me. I didn't need it, but the walls lined with emergency maps and tools told our story. The stars shone over a dry road, and I knew we'd survived more than a flood. We'd broken Margaret's tyranny. What do you think about power, injustice, and standing up to bullies like Margaret? Have you faced someone who abused authority or put others at risk? Share your thoughts below. Let's hear your take on fighting for what's right.